Nation, it's your boy Normatico, and I am here with another blaster review. Today we're going to be talking about a product that has not yet been seen on this channel. I have seen them advertised on Amazon, and I decided to say, hey, what the heck? It is springtime, and there are springtime blaster deals all over Amazon, and the price was right. So, yeah. That being said, we're going to be reviewing a product by a company called AGM Mastech. AGM Mastech, they are based out of China, as are most of those blaster companies. And normally, the blaster that I'm about to review is right around the $25 mark, and I've seen them go all the way up to $55 for the various different models. This is a shotgun, a shell-ejecting shotgun-style blaster, so we're going to see just what is inside this box. Now, currently, it is on sale for $16.99. Before the Spring Day sale started, I think I paid, I want to say $17.49 for the blaster because of a coupon that I had for that blaster brand. So that being said, we're going to look and see what is inside this box, because obviously it does look nondescript. Now, I do know that in other stores where AGM Mastech is available, in the brick and mortar stores, it does come with a much nicer looking box. That being said, though, let's go and actually shift the camera view so you guys can see just what this looks like inside. All right, so let's open up this box backwards here. And what do we have inside? We have our instructions. Let's take a look here. Okay, it seems pretty simple. Stuff dart into shell, prepare for shell loaded. Open the lid, install the shell. Okay, well, that works. All right. Okay, so now, there are various models of this blaster, some that come with a buttstock, others that do not. This one does not. Obviously, that is where the buttstock would be placed, but you do have the actual grip. Wow, that is a heavy grip. That's an oddly weighted grip here. There's a lot of weight on the bottom of this grip, so that's interesting. It's got a good texture to it. I might have done something with like some sort of rubber here. Who knows? I may adjust this and put some tactical tape on here just to make it more comfortable, but it looks pretty solid. You have a variety of shells. We have a bunch of suction tip darts. These look like 3/4 length or 2/3 length darts. We will see if these are the 2/3 length ones. I have some that are already pre-cut, so maybe they'll fit in these shells. If not, that's okay. I can always cut more darts to fit this. These come with suction cup tips, which are nice. And those, I guess, fit in like so. Now, I will tell you that the instructions will tell you to make sure that they flush all the way down in there. That way they fire properly, and it looks like that is seated correctly. Now, let me see if these are the same as the ones that I have cut in the past, because I have some streamline darts that I have cut to be this size, I believe. There's a streamline one. Let's see. Well, that's a snug fit in there. But it looks like they do fit all the way in there. So, yes, these are roughly 3/4 length darts. So we're going to test to see how this is. Now, you'll notice that that was an FVJ. I usually use those in my Springer builds because for some reason, stringers, not springers, stringers like FVJs. So we're going to test this one, and then we're also going to test the rest of these. Now, I believe if this is like any standard shotgun, these hold 5. Wow, these are really tight fit inside these shells, which is either going to be really good because it'll create some nice seals there so the air just pushes the darts all the way out, or it's going to cause them to jam inside of there. One of the two. So there we have 4 shells ready. We have 5 shells ready. Normally, that is what these things can hold, is 5 shells. And then we have, of course, the main body of the blaster itself, which attaches to the pump grip like so. It looks like there should be some screws here. Hopefully it came with it. And let's get that in there. There we go. Oh, looks like here are my screws and my screwdriver. Now, I'll tell you that this blaster does feel pretty comfortable in your hand. Okay, that is how it primes. And it looks like there's actual metal here as well. So this is a decent build for a blaster. It does have a gray trigger switch. And that is how you would load the shells. So let's try to prime that. Okay, you can actually shell load in the front as well. Breech load it. So Well, that doesn't sound very spicy, but let's go ahead and load some shells in here. There we go. Prime, flip that up. Reload one. Now this is a tight fit for these shells here. I have seen other shell ejecting shotgun blasters, and they're not quite as tight of a fit for the shells in there. So we have 4 shells that fit in here so far. Can we fit more? Four shells so far, and looks like we might be able to fit a 5th. So let's go ahead and actually load one more in here, and then we'll breech load one, just for good measure. Get in there. Nope. Okay, so I was wrong. You can only fit in the 3 in there, or I should say the 4. So you have that, and then we'll just go ahead and actually breech load this one. Oh, that is unfortunate. And pull the trigger to fire. Okay, well that did not fire. Let's try this again. This is not an auspicious start for this shotgun blaster. Well, we have our first jam already. That is not good. Not good at all. Let me see if I can get a... Oh, there we go. Force that one out just by doing that quick ejection there. All right. All right, well that one fired at least. Okay, after a quick jam, we just had to clear that and get that loaded. Let's reload this real quick. All right, well then, this thing is loaded. Now, of course, you can attach these shell holders here using the Picatinny rail attachment. That does allow you to hold extra shells up top, which is kind of nice. Let's get this to fit properly. This is just a friction fit onto the Picatinny rail, as you can see. And it does allow you to store up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional shells. Very tight fit on these, but you can fit them in there. So this allows you to stay in the game a little bit longer. Though I'll tell you that compared to a magazine-loaded blaster, this is inferior. But this is just for the fun because it is a truly realistic shotgun-style blaster, and I do dig that. Now, I will tell you that it is comparable so far as far as I can tell to some of the XML 1041 shell ejecting blasters, such as the one that is the nylon blaster that cost me about $75 off of Temu, but a much less expensive alternative here. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's go and actually change views, and we'll see this in my hands. Okay, so as you can see, I've actually added a couple things to this blaster. It does come with 2 Picatinny attachments that are dart storage. So one that can fit on either side. Of course, you only have to run one if you wanted to. The point is that when you run both, it allows you to have 6 additional shells here. So for a total of 12 shells that you carry on the blaster itself, and then the 5 that you load at once. 4 in the breech and 1 in the actual chamber ready to fire. So that being said, we've got this blaster fully loaded. And as you can see, it is a decent sized blaster. It is about 1.5, almost 2 feet long. So it is pretty good for what you get. Now, it does come with 3 total Picatinny rails. So you have 4 total. You have 2, one on either side, one on the bottom here, and one on the top, which means that you could load shells on the bottom as well to make life a lot easier for you, which is what I might go ahead and actually do here. Let's see if this will work. Nope, it's not going to fit that way. Unfortunately, the ergonomics on the front here with this additional rail up top does not allow for that, and that does not allow for that either. So you're stuck using the rail on top for the actual additional shells. As for what you can use the side rails for, possibly if you have a light attachment, you can go ahead and do that, or if you wanted to have some sort of grip on the bottom to help you aiming, that's fine as well. That is your call what you want to do. Now this is not wanting to fit back on here. Well, this was fitting here just fine a minute ago. There we go. All right, so that being said, how you want to actually load this up, it is entirely up to you. Now, ergonomically, the blaster does feel pretty comfortable. The grip itself with that texture does feel a little weird on your palm, but, you know, a simple solution of grip tape and you are fine, you are good to go. As for chronograph readings, we're going to test that now. I suspect that this blaster is going to get maybe around 65 FPS, possibly 70. You know, I don't know if it's going to quite hit Nerf Elite standards, but I may be pleasantly surprised. I will tell you that I have seen other shotgun blasters surpass the Nerf Elite standards, but I don't know if this one's made for that. So, again, who knows? But up next, let's take a look at the chronograph test, and then we are going to check to see just how far this blaster can fly. All right, so as you can see by the chronograph numbers, it did hit in the 70s, getting highs of 75. So this is Elite 2.0 standards. So not a bad performance by AGM Mastech using this shotgun style blaster. Now we're gonna actually take this out to do a distance test really quick, utilizing the standard suction cup darts that it comes with. Unfortunately, because of the wind, I'm gonna let you know right now that you're probably not gonna get much audio out there, because it is pretty windy. So yeah, I apologize. Rather than have you put up with the wind noise, we're just gonna do quiet shots next. So a decent performance distance-wise for this blaster. You know, we got right around 85 feet. I think that we actually maxed out at 90, but there was a little bit of wind, so we're going to dial that back. Say roughly 80 feet is what you can expect with this blaster. The straight shot got in the 50-foot range, so that is not too bad. It is decent, especially given what it is, which is a shell-ejecting shotgun. So yeah, I'm okay with this. Now, my final thoughts regarding this blaster. So here's the thing. The blaster itself has a lot of things going for it. First of all, the color scheme, it is really nice. The gray with the yellow It looks really cool. It's not too realistic, so that's great. It does have, of course, the orange cap on it, and you have the pick rails, which are a nice touch. So that being said, there are a couple of issues with this blaster. Let me go into them. First of all, the propensity for it to jam, it is possible. You saw me jam it when it was trying to actually load it up the first time. I found out what that was about. It was just there was a shell that was stuck in a certain place. It did not want to eject properly. But once I cleared that, it has not jammed up since. So I'm going to blame that more on human error than anything else. The other thing I'm not digging about this blaster, the fact that you actually have to screw in the little grip here, that kind of takes away from it a little bit. I would like for it to have just an actual clip system or something that you can actually just press and then pull this off. That way, if you actually have the replacement parts, you go ahead and actually pull them off and put them on, without a problem. The trigger, it does feel nice. One thing I'll tell you though is that it does have a trigger safety right here. So you just push that and that prevents you from firing, and there you go. So that being said, this is not a blaster that is super powerful that it requires a safety, but it's nice that it has it there. The main issue that I have, and this is not just an issue I have with it, G-Rex also played around with it and he said he wishes it was different, is the gripping right here on the actual primary grip. So that right there, it does feel, according to him, it was, I believe he said, a stubby cactus feel. And I can see what he's trying to say because that texture, it does not feel very comfortable in your hands. The flip side of this is that the part that you're actually moving, where you're going to want to actually have to grip, it is very smooth right here. So as you pull this back, your hand may slip if it's sweaty. So probably a good solution to this will be if you could actually find some sort of like a velvety cushion that you could actually just apply on here. Go ahead and do so, and definitely find some grip tape here, some smoother tape, I should say, and put this in here. If you can't find it, a workaround would be gripping this with, a workaround would be to wrap around some electrical tape on here, some black electrical tape. That way it smoothens it out and you can actually still get a good handle on it. And that's what you can do. Again, that's the cheap way out of it, but you do with this what you will. All in all, I am not dissatisfied with this blaster. It is fun. The shell ejection is really nice. It is comparable to what I purchased off of Temu, which was a much more expensive blaster, but without the performance. The one that I got off of Temu, which I'll have to do a review on later on, that one hits around 100 with a modified dart type. With half darts on this one, I was able to hit right around 60 with a tight fit. So not quite the same, but it's also not quite the same price. Obviously, this is much less expensive. Yeah, I mean, who is this blaster for? Let's be honest. This is not for the competitive player. This is for the person who wants to play indoors and wants to have a realistic shotgun feel, and in that, it succeeds. It is fun. The shell ejection. There is something satisfying about having ejectable shells and having them fly out just like that. So, because of that, it is a good purchase, especially at the price point they're trying to sell it for, which is right around $23.99. If you can find it on the spring deals, go ahead and do so because $16.49, this is a must-buy as far as I'm concerned, especially if you're a fan of shotguns and if you're a fan of shell ejecting. So, yeah, that's my review regarding the AGM Mastech pump action shotgun. If you're wondering why I haven't actually given it a name, it's because it's just a series of numbers. You'll see it in the actual thumbnail of the video, or look in the description where you can actually see a link to more information regarding this particular blaster. I want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, y'all, keep on blasting.